Let's get ready to start another episode of Miami Cop Talk.
We got a real special show today. It's messaging about COVID. With me is my co-host and partner, Robert Asencio. Robert, you want to break the news on who our guests are today?
Absolutely. So the chair of the Day Chiefs COVID-19 committee, the Village of El Portal, Chief David Magnusson. He's back with us. And also we have the mayor of the city of Pinecrest, or village of Pinecrest, Joe Corradino, to discuss this issue. Chief, would you like to start us out? A quick intro as to what we're doing and why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, this is, first of all, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be with the mayor as well, and you two gentlemen. Listen, this is all hands on deck right now. This is it. The numbers are climbing. The stats will bear that out. The healthcare professionals will bear that out with a very sound barometer. The hospitals are filling up where they weren't a couple of months ago. Positivity rate is rising. But I want to bring up something here, just maybe to drive it home in terms of police officers and COVID. You know, doing a little research, the National Weather Service says a person has about a 1 in 15,300 chance of getting hit by lightning in their lifetime if you're 80. Just go with me on this a second. Okay. Now, if you have kids and you hear thunder, get them out of the water right away. Okay. And that's the right thing to do. 182 officers died of COVID last year. Now, in the country, there's approximately, and I'll round it off, but I'm rounding it off more on the conservative side. There's 700,000 full-time officers in the United States, give or take a few. That's a 1 in 3,800 or so chance of an officer dying from COVID. A 1 in 3,800. Go back to the lightning again. 1 in 15,000. You hear lightning, you get the heck out of the water. I hear thunder, I'm sorry, you get out of the water. This is far less, and yet I don't understand for the life of me why people don't want to protect themselves. And I think we have to bring it to the forefront. The numbers that exist, we're not manipulating numbers, they're there. Hospital workers, the doctors or nurses are telling you, they're the expert in the field, I'm not. But they're telling you. I'm trying to convey that message, certainly to my brethren in blue. Protect yourself. You've done it with the hepatitis vaccine a couple of decades ago. Do it with this. And that's the best thing I could tell you. And we just got to keep hammering away at this.
So, Mayor, would you like to chime in on this important conversation that we know the positivity rate has increased and doubled here in Dade County in the last couple of weeks? We know that there's a debate as to vaccination versus non-vaccinated, but what we do know for sure and what we're seeing coming from the hospitals is the fact that those that are coming down with more severe cases, those that are going into ICU, those that are ultimately seeing the worst end of this virus are the people who are mostly non-vaccinated. Can you chime in as the leader of the county and the mayor of the city of Pinecrest?
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I agree with the chief 100%. Look, there's no questioning the stats that we're seeing out there that this is real. The disease hasn't left us. What's happened, however, is that it's mainly most dramatically affecting those those that haven't been vaccinated. And the other statistic is that now the crossover infections are going up. I think the last time I checked it last week was about 15% of the crossover infections. But those people are faring very well with the virus, right? They're not being hospitalized. They're not dying. 97% of the people in the hospital are unvaccinated, right? And nearly all of the deaths are the unvaccinated. This is pure public service announcement, really. Protect yourself, get the vaccine, and you may still get COVID, but it's not going to devastate you or your family the way it would if you weren't vaccinated. By the way, these variants are much more contagious and much more severe than the original version of COVID. And so this level of protection is absolutely critical. We hope everybody listens to that and does what they need to do.
Robert mentioned, this is not about politics. This is about public safety. And as I alluded earlier in part of our discussion, I know the freedoms that we have to embrace, and everyone is arguing here back and forth and should you get it, should you not get it. So I think you have a greater chance of surviving COVID if you get the shot. Get the shot, get the vaccine. I've taken the Pfizer vaccine. I took both of them. It was free at Tropical Park. That's a very key point that we need to address. It's free. you look at this from a holistic standpoint and say, and the mayor of Mr. Corradino, the mayor of Pinecrest, jumped on the board and he said, hey, it's a public safety issue that we're all on board with. So I appreciate what you're saying, but if you really had a message, overall message, what is your message for those that are arguing on both sides?
I think, look, the first responders are some of those critical actors in our community. They're there to help us when we need it. It's naturally, those are the types of people that run to emergencies and deal with other people's problems. And this is very similar to that, right? This isn't necessarily about just protecting themselves, but this is about protecting the people that they come into contact with. And in the bigger picture, all of Miami-Dade County, and it's a national problem. So it's really critical that they take this vaccine. I mean, it fits perfectly in line with why they do their jobs in the first place. And so I would encourage them all to do that.
We like to say here on Miami Cop Talk, one community, one voice. And our voice is be safe, do the right thing, protect the public, protect yourself, and let's all get through this together. This was a message on the COVID situation we're dealing with here in Miami-Dade County in South Florida. So thank you for being on the show. And that's been another episode of Miami Cop Talk.
You have been listening to Miami Cop Talk. We hope you have enjoyed this episode and visit us at MiamiCopTalk.com to get the latest on all our broadcasts. We want to thank our partners and sponsors that have made Miami Cop Talk possible. And on behalf of Robert Asencio and Raul Correa, we want to thank you for listening to Miami Cop Talk. Stay connected and visit us at MiamiCopTalk.com.